Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Relief Report. I'm your digestive dietitian, Stephanie Clairmont, and this show is all about helping you get rid of those digestive issues like gas, bloating, abdominal discomfort, pain, diarrhea, constipation, getting you clear on your triggers so you can get back to living your normal, beautiful life. Now, today we have a really cool episode I'm excited to share with you about, which is about turmeric. And can turmeric actually help us reduce digestive symptoms? Now, this is a question that we've been getting a lot recently about turmeric, so we wanted to dig into the research, the team and I, to figure out what the deal is with turmeric and if it's worth it to add it into your diet. Now, turmeric is kind of a spice that you may have noticed as a coloring agent. It's yellow in things like curries and mustard, but it does have some natural therapeutic benefits for digestive health as the team and I dug into the research. So we're going to talk a little bit about turmeric today, how it can help, how you can add it into your diet. So what we know about turmeric is that the research shows us that turmeric can actually help us relieve digestive symptoms by decreasing inflammation in the gut and promote good gut health. So one of the things that those of us with irritable bowel syndrome and those of us with inflammatory bowel disease have going on in our body could be some inflammation. Now, for sure, if you have Crohn's or colitis or another inflammatory bowel disease, or if you have known inflammation in your gut, then an anti-inflammatory food like turmeric can really help. For those of us with IBS, it's not super clear how much inflammation we have, but by having anti-inflammatory foods and having something like turmeric, it can definitely be a possibility to help us improve our health. So turmeric actually contains a substance called curcumin. And this is where it might get a little confusing, because if you've heard of curcumin or you've seen like on the supplement shelves, like a bottle of curcumin with a picture of turmeric on it, that's what's going on. Is turmeric is actually the spice and the root or the food, and their curcumin is a part of the turmeric root, and it's the part that gives it that yellow color, but it also has these other chemicals in it that help to reduce inflammation in the body. So that's the active part of the turmeric and why that particular spice can be beneficial and be anti-inflammatory. So the World Journal of Gastroenterology has actually published a study that we looked at, and we looked at a few other things to help us understand turmeric a little bit better. What we've learned is that turmeric, in some of the research, shows that it might also reduce the risk of some certain cancers like colorectal cancer. And that's because prolonged inflammation and stress is related to tumor growth and to cancer growth. And so taking action to reduce inflammation in our gut and in our bodies can actually improve IBS symptoms and also IBD symptoms and other digestive symptoms, but also kind of cool that it can be potentially helping reduce inflammation that can cause other things like cancer in our bodies. So definitely something to consider in adding into your diet to improve a variety of diseases, not just digestive. Now, one important thing before you go to know is that turmeric doesn't really absorb well in the intestinal tract, and we need it to absorb so that we can have those natural health benefits that it has. So what the research shows is that combining turmeric with some kind of fat, then it actually absorbs a lot better. So when you are adding turmeric into your diet, if it's something that you want to consider, make sure you're not just having it on your own, but you're having it with some kind of fat. So that could be in the food that you're consuming. If you're kind of just having it on its own with a tea, then you might want to have something with fat in it on the side or as you eat it. Okay, let me just look at my notes. So some recommendations for you. Let's say you want to have some turmeric in. Now, we always recommend, the team and I and everyone at our Clarity program and all of our digestive experts, that whenever you add something new to your diet, that you're always really mindful that it is new and that we're all unique and different, and we all have different triggers and all have different tolerances. So it is really important that you get clear on what your digestive triggers are in order to have that long-term success of getting rid of symptoms and feeling more like yourself. Adding turmeric in, if it's new for you, is something that you do want to add in kind of slowly. Maybe just try it once in a small amount in a meal and kind of see how it goes for your body. Something like a half an inch or an inch of like fresh turmeric, which is actually really, really thin root. It's not as thick as ginger. So You can add like a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon, up to a tablespoon, or just like a little bit of the dried spice, so maybe like a teaspoon of the dried spice in your cooking. Those are some ways to kind of add some of it in, but start small. Try it at one meal before you try it in all of your meals. See how you go and how you feel. And remember, when we're identifying our triggers, it's really important that you have relief so that you don't have any symptoms. If you're still suffering with symptoms every day and you're not sure what's causing them or what your triggers are, then you might be unclear if you add turmeric in. If it is a trigger or not, it can get a bit messy. So if you need help identifying your triggers, definitely reach out to me and the team and consider joining and learn more about our Clarity program, which has the community, the coaching, and the classes that you need to get clear on a plan to identify those triggers and get relief. But for now, try some turmeric, and you can put that in smoothies, in your tea, and sauces, and muffins, and baking. All kinds of ways you can think about using turmeric, and see if it helps to reduce your inflammation and if you can tolerate it. All right, my friend, thanks so much for joining me for this episode of The Relief Report. It was lovely to have you here, and I hope we helped you understand turmeric a little bit better. I'm going to see you again in another episode. Bye for now.